Dear friends, the entire world remember this day as Good Friday. I went to the lab yesterday. The lab technician, knowing my name Peter, asked me, can I wish my Christian friends tomorrow as a happy Good Friday? I thought a while. I said, it's okay. Then I said to myself, it's Good Friday. Entire world remembers as Good Friday. Why? I may Google. But I said to myself, it's not a bad Friday. It's not a last Friday. It's not a dead Friday. It's not a sad Friday. It's a Good Friday because death of Jesus brought good act. The good brought the day of salvation. It's a day of liberation. It's a day of redemption. So it's a Good Friday. But you may say, the pain of Jesus is reflected on the cross. So the pain of each one is being reflected on the cross. We see only pain. Cross speaks the language of pain. Is it? Does cross speak the language of pain? A 8-year boy having treatment for leukemia. In the bed, the nurse is trying to put an IV. The mother is sitting side by. My son, it will be okay. You'll be all right. Just a few seconds. It will pain little. The boy says, Mom, it's not okay. You don't know my pain. You don't know my pain. We go to the doctor. Doctor asks us, how will you measure your pain, the intensity of pain between 0 to 5 or 0 to 10? You may say 0 to 5, 4, 0 to 10, 8. Our outward actions may reveal the pain. Our face gestures may show some sign of pain. Doctors can guess the pain, but I, who go through only know the pain. They only know and experience the pain. You must have lost elderly parents, a sibling in the sick bed, as close beloved ones after long treatment in the bed. Doctors and people around us may say, your parents, your sister, or your beloved are okay. They're away from suffering. They're away from treatment. They're away from pain, peace in the Lord. They say, but you who lost your beloved ones know the pain of loss. I struggled to accept the pain, the loss of my companion priest who we were together 13 years. At the age of 31, as a young priest, he passed away. The pain of loss was so intense. I never thought that I would not get such a friend. It's true, pain we go through physically, emotionally. Someone just leaves us away. In our relationships too, and in spiritual life too. When I feel that I'm away from God, when I don't experience forgiveness, when I also struggle to accept God's presence in various moments of my own pain and suffering. The pain is there. One who goes through pain experiences pain. So we connect to the cross, saying cross speaks the language of pain. Cross speaks the language of suffering. No, we think cross speaks the language of pain because pain continues. There is no end to pain. No, dear friends, the message of this Good Friday, the day of redemption, the day of liberation, the day of liberation, redemption, and salvation, say, cross speaks, never stops speaking. Cross speaks the language of compassion, language of participation, language of love. The word excruciating pain is invented by Romans. That means X cross out of cross. Roman coined this word, the life of Christ. The book Life of Christ, this excruciating pain on the cross involves all pain, the entire pain. What is this crucifixion, excruciating pain? Crucifixion was invented by Persians and Romans embraced it. The crucifixion, it involves dizziness, starvation, torture, choking. More than that, person is conscious of suffering. Person is alert of his own suffering. And also conscious of humiliation, shame, awful situation. Now we know God becoming human. The human becoming a slave and on the cross as a criminal. How to understand? St. Paul in his letter to Corinthians, he says, He purchased us, He washed us, He sanctified us. He is giving the example of a Pauline community buying the slave. Slave will be available in the market, kept in the market. People bid for slaves. And the slave is bought, the one who buys the slave, he can do anything with the slave. He can torture the slave. He can take the slave for granted, give all types of works. But the fact is, the very fact one is bought from the market, he is redeemed the common slavery. He is liberated. He is saved from the market slavery. So, Jesus going through pain and suffering and humiliation, torture, excruciating pain on the cross, He has purchased us. He has bought us. He has redeemed us. The salvation is not a reward. The salvation is a free gift. Redemption is a free gift God has given to us. How going through pain, suffering, excruciating pain on the cross is redeemed us, saved us. How it has connection to our own pain and suffering. It speaks the language of compassion. Redemption is compassion. Through compassion, God has redeemed us, expressing His compassion. So cross speaks the language of participation and compassion, because compassion is participation. How to understand? We'll take Gospel of Luke 10th chapter, 30th verse. On the way to Jerusalem, Jericho is the place where robbers would be around looking for someone to rob, to grab things. They find a person, they stripped him off, beaten, leaving half dead. There comes priest and Levi, saw, but they just passed by. Samaritan comes. He saw, he moved, he came close near. So seeing, being moved, coming closer is participation. Then bandaging, pouring oil and wine, putting on animal, taking to the inn, giving money. If anything more needed, will come back. That is completely participating, becoming one with the pain and the humiliation of the person wounded of dead. Again, Luke chapter 18 chapter 38 verse. On the way to Jerusalem, near Jericho, person will be shouting, Son of David, have mercy on me. People, you're born, it is destiny. You're blind. Jesus, call him closer. Call him near. What do you want? Let your faith save you. You'll get back your sight. You'll get back your sight. Another participation, another compassionate participate, becoming one with the pain of the person, the suffering of the person. This is called redemption, salvation, liberation through compassionate participation in the pain and struggle, the suffering. Pain doesn't continue. The suffering doesn't continue. The humiliation, awful situation doesn't continue. The end is redemption, salvation, and liberation. Isaiah 53rd chapter 4th verse we read, He bore all our infirmities, carried all our diseases. Philippians 2nd chapter 6th verse we read, Though he was in the form of God, didn't count equality with God something to grasp, cling on to. He emptied himself, became a slave, became part of human struggle. St. Paul says, if I preach, I will boast, I will proclaim Christ crucified. You can understand from the life of St. Paul, who says in 2 Corinthians, has beaten, scourged, whipped, shipwrecked, experienced cold, hunger, lived in exhaustion. But I experienced him. It isn't I who live, Christ lives in me. He fully participates in my pain, anguish, suffering. He used to say, there's a thorn in my flesh. They say, people rejected him, ignored him. His own people, Jewish people, they want him to be a killer of Christians, as he had been once. They didn't understand, they did not accept that he is a baptized Christian coming out of Judaism. So he felt the rejection. Humiliation in him. But he felt the participation. He felt the closeness of Jesus in his experience. There he proclaims Christ crucified, the resurrected Christ, the living Christ, the liberation he experienced from Christ. So cross speaks the language of not pain but salvation. Edith Stein was a Jewish woman, became an atheist, finally died as a Catholic religious, as a martyr. Yes, he was born as a Jewish person, as a philosopher, as a teacher, then became an atheist person. Then she becomes a Catholic, as a baptized Carmelite nun, and she takes Saint Benedicta of Cross, taking the name, and she was put in the Auschwitz camp when they arrested all the baptized Catholics who were Jewish ones. They arrested, kept in the camp, tortured, and she died as a martyr. The Germany, the colon city near the university, there will be 3 statues of Edith Stein. First statue will give the picture, image of her strong Jewish believer. The statue will have a Star of David. The second statue will be a double face. She was struggling to move as an atheist from staunch Jewish person. And third statue, she will have a cross in her hand. And it says how she experienced the torture, the humiliation, pain as she was changing, as she was moving, finally embracing Catholicism, becoming a Catholic, becoming a nun, and she says only accepting the suffering, only participating the suffering, you can experience the salvation and redemption of Jesus Christ. I bore the doubt, insults, humiliation, but experienced salvation at the end. We know Joan of Arc, a teenager walking towards the fire to be killed. She told the Dominican friar who was walking, "Please hold crucifix high. I want to see." Towards fire, that crucifix is strength, it's power, it's my liberation. Not fire is not the end. Salvation is the end. Cross is end. Yes, dear friends.